It'll be his first, and he'll also secure a spot on the All-Exempt roster for next year.
As we saw on that stat, Randy, a moment ago, 113 events without a title, where Jeff Zaffino has only bowled in 7 events this year. Just kind of a part-time player on our tour. But has he ever made a full-time impact this week in Indy? Nice little break late. 8-pin goes down. A good start for Jeff Zaffino from Warren, Pennsylvania.
Very nice start for Jeff Zaffino. Keep in mind, this is his 3rd telecast ever. His last 2 telecasts, he finished 2nd both times. And both times, lost to Doug Kent.
Nice milestone this week for Dave DeAntremont. Like yourself, one of the PBA millionaires. Had to really hurry. And a cranker, DeAntremont gets that into the pocket, leading us to the Baby Ruth Real Deal matchup.
10-pin a game average difference for Jeff Zaffino, and there's a reason why. In match play, first round against Walter Ray Williams Jr., he's down 1-3, comes back and wins the next 3 against the behemoth Walter Ray, and he hasn't lost since.
Wow.
His next 2 rounds, he went 4-0, 4-0. In order to do that, you have to throw a lot of strikes.
Talk about being hot. Chris and Ward went down. Late help on the 10 for Dave DeAntremont.
See that hand underneath and then around. To make a bowling ball hook, you have to start from underneath it. If you start from the side, all it does is spin and never grabs the lane. 11 consecutive games entering today.
Just one of the all-time greats in Walter Ray Williams Jr. Not like, I mean, an average player on a tour. It was Walter Ray. He was down 3-1-2. Coming right at the pins, and yikes, that's a tough split to deal with now. Yeah, 4, 6, 7. That number is in significant jeopardy.
Oh, that number's going to fall.
Wow.
Unless he pulls a Mika and bounces it out of the pit. Look out.
Oh, gosh, he almost missed the 4-7. Misses the 4, so just an 8-pin count for Zaffino, who comes to us from Warren, Pennsylvania. It's about 60 miles east of Erie, PA. Not too far from Buffalo, New York. Now he's down 24 pins.
And quite honestly, by not converting 2 of those pins, I think that was a big mistake because he lost 2 pins in count. Instead of 28 in the second, he has 26.
2-pin for Jeff.
And since we're on the 2 theme, that's the 2-pin. Dave DeAntremont's reaction looks so good in the first match, and it doesn't look like it's going to go away anytime soon. Jeff Zaffino is going to have his hands full.
112th on the tour point list, so Jeff Zaffino has got to win, Randy, as you mentioned. If he's going to think about exempt status, he told us before the match today, hey, if I don't win here in Indy, I'm going to try to compete and win the World Championship. This is where points were. 112, as we mentioned, for Zaffino, bottom of the screen there. Chris Barnes is into the round of Super 16, as is Michael Haugen. And Steve Jarrett just keeps on trucking.
Wow.
More help.
Wow.
Top 2 teams in the NHL Pacific Division face off on ESPN. Goalie Evgeny Nabokov for the Sharks will try to stop Billy Guerin, Mike Modano, and the Dallas Stars. NHL special coming your way today, 4 o'clock Eastern time from Big D. For more, log on to ESPN.com. 4-point difference. San Jose's got the lead, but suffered some recent injuries. Ron Wilson's team, what a season it's been in Northern California for them. 3 strikes now in a row. 4-bagger attempted for a double D.
Same thing he did in the Chris Barnes match.
Dave wanted to make sure we said hello to his whole family, not only in Ohio, but in Utah with his cousin Tony Bonds, who's watching today.
And while we're on the subject of families, the PBA family would like to send condolences to U.S. Open champion Justin Romick and his wife Christy. Her mother, Carla Butcher, passed away about 2.5 weeks ago. She was instrumental in creating and maintaining a solid youth bowling program in the Indianapolis area. And our thoughts and prayers are with the Romick and Butcher families.
Don't leave them all week and start now.
Ball reaction on television isn't always the same as it was during the week, and that's certainly the case for Jeff Zaffino. I guarantee he didn't leave a whole lot of those.
Cashes 4 of 7 events. Match play 1 of 7 events. That's it for Zaffino. But as he mentioned to us before the tournament today, Randy, he was at a small 12-lane house in South Bend, Indiana last week. He said just snug and cozy, gave him that sort of homespun feeling. And on the same pattern, he won there and just kept the roll going here on pattern A here in Indianapolis. 80-lane mega center we've got at Woodland Bowl here in Indy. And look at that incredible finish as he blanks Tim Chris and Ricky Ward.
Well, that's better.
If he doesn't make the tour next year, he's hit a bowl in a lot of regionals and then go to tour trials over the summer. Are you still planning on the tour trials right now?
If I don't make it by doing something beautifully in the World Championships, I'll be at tour trials. But you know what I'm going to do just for you and the guys in the truck? I'm going to win next. I'm going to win in 2 weeks.
That would be spectacular, partner. Down goes the 10 late for Double D, Dave DeAntremont. We're talking about tour exemption, been a huge theme, folks, of our tour all year long. 50 players, some points, and winners. Its list is up to 29 right now. The tour trials are next summer, coming up in a few months. And many great players like yourself, Randy, multiple winners, PBA Hall of Fame caliber players are going to be there at the tour trials.
There's going to be a lot of guys. There are a lot of guys that are committed. Del Ballard Jr., myself, if we don't make it, we're going to be there.
DeAntremont comes in high. You look out.
And not the thing to do when you have a substantial lead in the match. He's just giving it right back to Jeff Zaffino, who can step up in the 6th and 7th and draw this to just about an even match.
3, 6, 7, 10 remain.
Got to get the ball over here to the right side of the 3, throw the 3 over into the 7, and the ball will take out the 6-10.
See how far left he's starting. Can he convert? Oh, no. 8-pin count changes things drastically here. Zaffino had that trouble in the second frame, but later in the match, DeAntremont has issues. Still a 20-pin lead on Zaffino. Uniroyal Tire Classic PBA Tour here in Indianapolis at Woodland Bowl. What a great center this is. Derek Buck, Tim Jamison, the GM of Auto Tire Car Care Centers, and Uniroyal Brand Director. Thank you so much for your help, support. As the title sponsor of this great event here in Indianapolis. 25th time the PBA Tour has been here in all. Jeff Zaffino just loves this center. As you mentioned in your interview with him, he's had success here. Twice has made title matches, but both times has lost to Doug Kent. Right through the nose, wiggling. 7 remains upright.
And Jeff Zaffino could have taken the lead with a strike in the 6th and 7th. The shot again pulled.
We'll do it all week and then do this.
Leaving the same thing that Dave DeAntremont left. In my opinion, needs to convert this to have any chance of winning.
No.
It's going to be a tough road now.
Well.
8-pin count. Dave DeAntremont is looking at a great shot to make the finals, folks. Amazing. Days in on the road. The World Championship, plenty of great seats available. Log on to PBA.com. Arena tickets at the EMU campus in Ypsilanti. It's all coming up. The match play leading in is at Taylor, Michigan. Regional Players Championship here in Indiana. And the Stardust Bowl in Maryville, Indiana as well. It's all coming up. Tour trials as well this summer. Randy will be there. Del Ballard Jr., plenty of great bowlers, all looking for a spot. And it looks like Jeff Zaffino will join them because he's about to get KO'd here by Dave DeAntremont. He's down 34 pins. Of course, unless those bowlers win next week at the Worlds, everyone's headed to the tour trial.
I was going to say, don't just start counting us out early.
Not yet, partner.
We still got one more shot at it.
Not yet.
You know, the one thing about winning, you never forget how. It's just a little tougher to get there.
Oh, a chop.
Oh, well.
And that
Good
5
luck,
pin
Dave.
stays up, and that'll do it.
Stupid showing.
Look out. 3 open frames in the 2nd, the 6th, and the 7th. And he had 60 plus frames without an open. 66 to be exact. Heading in the 11-game win streak, match play, after being down to Walter A. Williams Jr. 3-1 in the round of 32. Just blasted the competition did Jeff Zaffino of Warren, Pennsylvania, but D'Entremont has turned the tables in this match.
D'Entremont's got him right where he wants him now. Zaffino having no chance whatsoever getting his ball to the pocket. And Dave D'Entremont, he's on autopilot right now. But let me just back up for a minute and tell you what Jeff Zaffino did. Just because he's shooting 160 this game. The last 3 games against Walter Ray, 277, 259, 255. Next 4 games, 264, 213, 243, 258. His last 4, 245, 226, 236, 256. Bowles on, gets on
Anything but that.
the televised pair, and he's got 0 bar reaction. And once you've been that successful for that long, playing the lanes a certain way, it's tough to really move around and change a whole lot. Right now, Jeff Zaffino, to have any chance, needs to change his entire line and move into where Steve Jarris was and go straight up around 7, 8, 9.
.310? No, chopped it, and the 10 remains up. An open frame late for D'Entremont. It appeared this match was all but over. Now Zaffino's got another opening.
Well, if Jeff Zaffino strikes out, he's going to shoot 190. Dave D'Entremont going at a 193 pace, meaning if he goes spare, strike, spare in the 9th and 10th frame, he'll shoot 193. So, again, I don't think Jeff can do it from playing out, though.
Well, there's one.
And a ball change, something that held line.
And you know from sitting on the bench, when your opponent suddenly struggles, when he has a stranglehold on the match, that can give you momentum in turn, right?
Yeah, it sure can, but I mean, at this point, Dave D'Entremont could take his spare ball and throw it straight down the lane and just fill frames with marks. 66 frames without an open frame today, 3.
Here he comes.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
change ball sooner.
Well, change balls sooner, yeah. Hindsight is 20/20. Is that what they say, Dave Ryan?
Make it
Look
work
how
for
pretty this is now. This is what he was doing all week long.
Folks, this was a 45-pin lead a couple frames back. Now it's a 23. And as Zaffino points out, it was all a ball change. Big moment now for D'Entremont trying to answer.
Boy, one more open frame for Dave D'Entremont. Jeff Zaffino could steal this from him.
Big shot. That's how you respond, Dave. Who has not won in 37 events. 6 career titles. Got by Chris Barnes. Already here today, as he did in Wichita. October 13th of 02, his last PBA Tour title. Beat Patrick Healy Jr. in the title match, 232-206. And we saw a moment ago what he needs to shut out Jeff Zaffino.
Oh, no!
7-10.
Unbelievable. Jeff Zaffino can strike out in the 10th frame and win this game if Dave D'Entremont doesn't convert the 7-10. Unreal. Only 3 times ever. We've seen pins come out of the back at Woodland before.
For the 4th time ever on TV, no, 7-up. For Dave D'Entremont, what disaster late in the match for him, another open.
That gives Dave D'Entremont 181. Jeff Zaffino needs 2 strikes and 2 pins to steal this away from Double D.
Incredible. Every time he's been on TV, Zaffino has made the title match. Can he do it again, folks, and steal one from Dave D'Entremont? Gotta have it.
Left, no chance.
4-pin, didn't get it.
Left out of his hand the whole way.
You okay? You okay?
Breathing.
And Dave D'Entremont
Cuyahoga Falls.
Yeah, it
is
does.
still breathing.
Little Ohio reference there from Dave DeAntremont. 4-pin.
Man, Bears kill me.
He's afraid of getting it just a pinch to the right for fear of it hanging. So what does he do? He gets it in. Has no chance of holding line. Double D. Take a breath.
This one has been clinched.
Thanks, guys.
First ever meeting
Thank you.
with Steve Jarris coming in the final. Can Steve Jarris